Hey everyone, this is Matt from endsickness.org. Today I'm going to talk about the connection between childhood trauma and mast cell activation syndrome. First, let me say I'm not a medical doctor. This is not medical advice. It's based on my personal experiences for informational and educational purposes only. So childhood trauma, how can that be connected to mast cell activation syndrome in your current day, in your current life? Well, when you have childhood trauma, it activates the nervous system, makes the nervous system hyper aware of everything that's going on around you. You know, whether it's something that's threatening in a threatening sound or a threatening person or a threatening situation. When you have a past history of trauma, your brain starts to look for threats and perceive danger around it. So you start to become hyper aware of all the things in your environment that could potentially threaten you. And this is what you see over the course of your life. You start to see different things that are threatening. You try to protect yourself from being impacted by these things. So you think ahead in fear. You try to protect yourself. You try to protect yourself. Constantly trying to protect yourself from something going wrong. And that puts your brain into a state where it's constantly feeling threatened, like something is about to happen and is about to make things worse, right? So when you live your life that way over time, what you do is you manifest a lot of things where things go wrong. You manifest a lot of situations where things go wrong because you're thinking about them going wrong before you even get into them. So you're going to attract bad situations to you. That's the law of attraction. When you start thinking about things going wrong, you have a higher probability of them going wrong. So then when you have this childhood trauma in life, you start having these reoccurring traumas that reverberate the same feeling that that childhood trauma gave you. So if you felt alone, you felt abandoned, you felt sad that someone left you behind or something, then you're going to keep replaying these traumas at different events in your life because you haven't addressed the past trauma yet, right? If you don't address the past trauma, it will reverberate internally and you will attract future situations that replicate that past trauma or replicate the emotion that that past trauma produced. And reality is when you have a ongoing events like this that keep happening that are traumatic, that remind you of something in the past that's happened, then you end up very, very cautious about everything. You know, your brain becomes overly cautious about everything. What you're smelling, what you're inhaling, what you're eating, who you're around, what they're saying, the cold, the heat, did you get enough sleep last night? All these things can be threatening to your body. And I went through it myself. I had mast cell activation and I was reacting to nearly everything, all these different foods, things that were in the air, smells, supplements, etc. My daughter went through it as well. I've seen countless clients go through it, and it kind of all starts with something traumatic that happens years ago. And then that makes you sensitized to these different things in your environment, in your food, in your reality. Person then becomes sensitive to foods, or they become sensitive to mold, or something happens where it knocks their gut out of whack, and then everything starts to become a problem there. But the reality is when you have past trauma, you have these ongoing traumas that leave the nervous system in a hyperactivated state, then anything could throw you off and take you off your track, whether it's antibiotics, another extremely stressful event, not sleeping well, a new job that drains you, etc., etc. So the reality is so many things affect your nervous system. And if they affect your nervous system negatively, they're going to make you more reactive to everything, your food, what you're inhaling, your emotional triggers, etc. So if you're dealing with mast cell activation, you have to remember, okay, to be able to get over this and beat it permanently, you have to address the past trauma, okay? Once you get yourself out of a place where you're reacting to all these different foods and these things, then you got to address the past trauma. Otherwise, you'll have this aggravated nervous system, which will constantly leave you in a state of fight or flight, and it will really reduce the quality of your life. Take it from me. I went through it myself. So thanks for watching, everybody. You got to deal with the past trauma. If you have any questions on how to do that, reach out to me. This is what I do with clients to help them deal with these things head on. They write down the thoughts that they're having. We address them. We restructure the belief systems and the stories surrounding them. And this is what helps people get over them when traditional talk therapy did not work. So thanks for watching. Go to my website, endsickness.org. I got hundreds of articles, hundreds of videos on there teaching you how to heal yourself from all these chronic illnesses. Thanks for watching.